So welcome everyone. This is boosting email campaigns with AI, Autoklose, and Repfabric. So thank you for joining us on a Friday. Just some quick housekeeping notes. Everyone will be muted during the call, so please put your questions in the Q&A. We'll be monitoring the Q&A. We'll try to monitor throughout, but if nothing else, we'll definitely have some time at the end to answer any questions you may have. For Repfabric folks, this is not meant to be a training session. It's really an overview of the subject. If you want to learn more about how to use the integration between Autoklose and Repfabric, that class can be found in our learning management system. And for those who don't know, you just go to help in your Repfabric web browser, and learning is where you go there. It is being recorded, as I mentioned, for future on-demand playback, and your participation represents that you acknowledge that we are recording. So thank you for that. Just a couple quick things. If you're looking for our past webinars, those are available in the LMS. You just go in the LMS, search webinar, and it'll pull all the past webinars in as well. So future webinars coming up. These are changing all the time. Obviously, we have the one today. We've got another one for AI and more CRM applications. We'll be doing goals towards the end of the year, but there's a couple more, including some commissions and sales training and that kind of thing that we're going to be doing. So just be on the lookout. If you're not sure where you can find us, underneath our URL, you just go to webinars, or if you go to resources page, you'll find webinars. So with that, I'd like to introduce Sean and Yelena. Actually, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. So Sean.
Perfect. Thanks, Scott. My name is Sean Finder. I was the founder of Autoklose. We were acquired back in October of 2020, and Jan, who's with me today, has been with me since day one. So a lot of you here today, I think, have used Autoklose in the past or are currently using Autoklose and the integration with Repfabric. Currently, I am working with VanillaSoft, who acquired us, and I am from Toronto, Ontario. So that's a little bit about me, and I'll pass it over to you, Yelena.
Thank you. Hey guys. So I'm very happy to be on another Repfabric webinar. These are, well, by far my favorite ones. And I quickly took a look to see who's here with us today. And I know a lot of you. I think you met me multiple times before during this 5-year-long partnership with Repfabric. Yes, I can't believe it neither, but it's been 5 years actually. And for those of you who I haven't had a pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Jelena Petrovic. I am the head of customer success and customer experience team in Autoklose. And well, I'm the go-to person for anything and everything Repfabric related. So I'm sure we will be crossing paths very soon.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And Scott Stockham, Chief Revenue Officer here at Repfabric. For those who know me, you know I come from a manufacturing background, so I always say I'm a recovering manufacturer, like John's a recovering rep. And the one thing I'll say about that from a manufacturer's lens, it would be really cool if you showed your manufacturer you had these kind of capabilities, because I can tell you, I didn't realize that any of my 26 rep agencies could do things like we're going to show you here today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sean after I go through the quick agenda, which is we're going to really talk kind of high level about how AI can help your business. There's some insights and introductions to it. Then we'll talk about personalized marketing campaigns and AI's impact on cold emails and how you can enhance your customer experience. Then Yelena's going to go into the Autoklose AI feature. I'm going to talk a little bit about how the Autoklose and Repfabric integration, how it works. So I know for some folks on the phone, you may already know this, but maybe just a refresher. And again, it's going to be a quick overview. So if you need more information, obviously go to the LMS. And at the end, we'll have time for some questions and answers. So, Sean?
Perfect. So yeah, I wanted to kind of start off today talking about, AI. It's a buzzword that you can't really, you go on a subway, you see AI. You go on a bus, you see AI. You go on an Uber, AI. AI is everywhere. But it's taking an interesting role in different businesses, departments inside a business. And for today, I want to really focus on where it's taking its role in sales, but also kind of give you where I think it might be going in sales. So, what does AI actually do? And what is artificial intelligence? AI analyzes massive amounts of data to provide actionable insights for sales team. So predictive analytics and machine learning algorithms to help identify preferences, behaviors, to offer, optimize pricing, forecast strategies. But like, what else does AI actually do in sales? So, I wanted to come up with 5 different things that I personally see AI helping with and changing in the upcoming, year, 2 years, 3 years, and probably even 5 years. So one would be lead scoring. AI analyzes customer data. So what does that do? It can identify, prioritize leads, and help you find which leads are actually going to convert. So I think AI is one thing it's really going to take an initiative on and really start to drive is the lead scoring. Personalization, which I think Yellen is going to be touching upon today later, is, AI tools can tailor sales messages based on the tone, the style, the behavior, your preferences. So it could almost like imagine analyzing, 5,000 emails that Scott's wrote and basically building something that can write just like Scott. So instead, when you're sending those emails out, it's not like it just sounds like, oh, we're sending that same email and it's, spraying and praying to 1,000 people. It sounds like Scott. It's using the same vocabulary as Scott. I think that's where AI is going to be going with personalization.
So basically, poor grammar and misspellings is what it's going to do for me. Is that what you're saying?
Scott, if you're talking poor grammar, I mean, Yella is my witness. I'm probably the worst at grammar. But she's after working with me for about 10 years, she finally understands when I'm making spelling mistakes what I actually mean. So I'm with you, Scott, on that.
No, I don't really, but yeah, he's terrible at grammar and spelling. So
I've always been a math guy. Let's go. I'm a numbers guy. Okay. Which brings me to the next point. I think sales forecasting. I truly believe analyzing historical data, trends, seasonality, AI will be able to predict the future sales performances. That could be of your reps. It could be of prospects. It could be of clients. It could be the average deal size. It's going to be able to forecast a lot of that. For example, if you use whatever CRM you're using, Repfabric, for example, I think Repfabric, you'll be able to analyze every stage in that sales funnel. I think chatbots and virtual assistants, you're already seeing a little bit of that now. I think you're seeing the 24/7 support where you're speaking to an AI robot. I think that will continue. And last thing is more customer insights, customer interactions, the feedback. So I think we are personally at the infancy of AI, but I think sales, there's a lot of great things that inside CRMs like Repfabric, inside sales tools, there's a lot of cool things that AI is going to bring, short term, medium term, and even long term. So, personalized marketing campaigns would be another one. AI is going to enable manufacturers to create personalized marketing campaigns based on the individual. So basically what I was just saying, the individual behaviors of people, AI is going to help drive that marketing strategy. It's going to deliver targeted messages. I know Yellen is going to go through some really cool things that we've done, but it's just going to help you get that conversion, get that customer engagement, and increase all those different things that help you drive. What we want is leads and opportunities. So this is going to help you guys build on that and continue to drive those leads and opportunities into your sales funnel. So the impact on cold email, I've mentioned a few things. AI-powered tools will optimize cold email outreach, especially in the manufacturing industry. Natural language processing algorithms can analyze recipient responses and engagement patterns. So a lot of the stuff I talked about in that first slide is really going to help impact those cold emails. So as you continue to send those cold emails, we're going to make them sound, or AI is going to make them sound not as cold. So the AI emails that you think are, okay, I'm sending 100 emails, I'm just going to change the name from Yelena to Scott to Sean, send the same email out. There's going to be different ways that you can actually optimize those emails to make those cold emails sound warm, which at the end of the day helps your delivery rate, your open rates, and your reply rates. So, and I want to touch upon, the customer experience. Now, a lot of people might say, well, do you just think these robots and AI are just going to take over the sales team? Like, we're not going to hire salespeople anymore. We're not going to have any, the robots are going to be going in their Ubers and going door to door and knocking. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is AI is going to help the customer experience. It's going to help you do your job better. It's going to help you do your customer insight help you do your job better. And ideally, it's going to help you make more sales. So the AI-powered chatbots, the virtual assistants that you're seeing, all that immediate customer support that are addressing your support questions, your inquiries, it'll be a 24/7 thing. It's going to be all around the clock. So AI-driven recommendation systems such as, what product reviews, how to enhance your product, your overall customer experience, which helps, your brand loyalty, is definitely something that AI is going to help. And I think we're at the infancy. I think it's probably first now taking more in the customer experience and the branding part, but I think it's going to expand on what it's already done. But again, I don't think we're taking salespeople away. I think we're going to help salespeople be better. So, lastly, just to conclude on what I believe in AI is, I think one of the industries that's going to really reap the rewards is the manufacturing industry. I think AI is going to be a game changer for sales, marketing, and I would even say support, operations, just about every department in the manufacturing industry. I think you're going to see AI become a very big part. By leveraging and being ahead of the curve and being knowledgeable in all these different capabilities will only help you with your marketing efforts, your sales efforts, your email efforts, your forecasting efforts, and ideally your opportunity efforts. So, instead of watching AI all around you and saying, oh, another TV channel about AI, oh, they're bringing up AI on this debate, embrace yourself on AI. Honestly, I personally get addicted to it because I think it's going to be a big part of the future. So my conclusion would be is don't sit back and wait to learn, be proactive and start learning about the different things AI can do for your business, can do for your sales team, your marketing team, etc. And slowly but surely, you might want to start implementing some of those to help you guys become more efficient and more productive.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Before I turn over to Yelena to talk about some of the AI capabilities within Autoklose, I did want to just kind of take a step back and just talk about the different types of email marketing that in particular Repfabric customers typically take advantage of. So we kind of put the email marketing into 4 categories. The first one is the newsletter type, right? It's the MailChimps, it's the constant contacts, etc. This is the one you're sending to thousands of people and it's just a product update or a newsletter or what have you. And these are the ones that you get in your personal life all the time. That's a do not reply to kind of email. But again, great for the mass audiences, right? And just know we do have an integration to MailChimp. The second one, which you see on the right, which we're going to get into deep obviously today, is the lead nurturing type. So Autoklose is great and we use it extensively within Repfabric because you can set up email campaigns. You can have a series of emails that go out over time. They're really going to be a lot of times be drip campaigns. I mean, you're only going to send so many emails in a day. This is not for the thousands upon thousands of people kind of campaign. This is for like the hundreds of people that you're trying to reach. And then also keep in mind, it's a personalized email. It's a one-to-one. So it's actually coming from your inbox. So the great thing about an Autoklose campaign when it's integrated Repfabric is that email is coming from your Outlook or your Gmail. So therefore, it's going to show up in Repfabric under that customer and under that contact. The next 2 I'll talk about just very quickly, which that can pitch is down the left. What that is getting collateral from, let's say, one of your manufacturers, putting collateral in a canned pitch so that your salespeople can quickly send a nice looking email to, let's say on the way out the door or from their car to with a customer they just met with. And the last one is, this is good if you're just sending like 10 or 20 emails, not more than that, but you can send directly from Repfabric. So let's say you're going to go to Poughkeepsie and you want to see everybody in Poughkeepsie. You could just filter on Poughkeepsie, check the 10 people that are in that area and say, hey, I'm coming to your area in a week. Let me know if you'd like to meet up. And so again, we've done that ourselves and had tremendous success rates. So with that, I'm not going to talk a little bit about AI and Autoklose.
Thanks, Scott. So, well, I hope Sean didn't put you all to sleep with his part of presentation. And let's now shake things up a bit and talk about what is really important about the AI and how it can also improve your deliverability rates. And of course, how you can achieve that within the Autoklose AI feature set. One of the things that you will not see in the slides, but everyone who's been using Autoklose already know this. So we, aside from the obvious AI features that are, that will be shown in these slides, we also have the AI recognition of your signals and recipient replies. The reason why that is important is obviously when you're sending a cold campaigns with multiple touch points in it, as many people do, depending on the signal you're getting from your recipients, those follow-ups will be different or should be different, in other words. So based on the artificial intelligence, our system is able to label certain responses with 99% accuracy. And that way you can set up different types of automations within the system. So just to give you like a real life example from one of my dear Repfabric users, I'm not sure if he's here with us today, but when we were setting up his first campaigns, he came to me and he said, my sales reps are very busy. They often go out there and they don't really have the time to respond to those emails right away. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that every time someone asks for a quote after the initial email, I send them like the automated response saying, thank you for your inquiry. I'm going to send you the quote within the 24 hours. And that was such a brilliant example of what the automated actions in combination with AI recognition can do, because based on those replies and based on the reply type, the system is kind of labeling once the replies are read, you're able to put those recipients into different campaigns and really get to a very personalized experience. So I do believe that AI helps a lot with deliverability rates. And, let's face it, everyone ran into a problem with deliverability at some point, whether you are getting a lot of bounce backs or, your statistical rates are not that high as you would hope to be. That is where AI really comes in handy. So Scott, do me a favor, let's go to a next slide. And the first thing I would like to discuss when it comes to the AI features within Autoklose is definitely the spin tags. Now, spin tags is nothing new. It's been around for like 20 years, but more for marketing efforts. However, it's becoming very important for the code outreach as well, because if you want to improve your deliverability rates, you need to personalize your emails. Now, there's that basic personalization like, hey, Sean, hey, Scott, hey, Elena, but that's not really enough. So anytime you start sending out emails, a bunch of emails, no matter how big that bunch is, whether you send 10 or 110 or maybe 500 emails per day, if the emails are exactly the same, spam algorithms at some point will start to label the sender as mass sender. And the more emails, the more exactly the same emails you send out, well, there's a high likelihood that at some point your delivery rates will go lower than supposed to be. So how can you achieve personalization without running into the hyper personalization problem? Not everyone has the time to use different recipient information that just takes a lot of time, even though you have an option of doing it in Autoklose. But with the spin text feature, you can diversify your email content across various campaigns, across various recipients, just by using, oh, a lot of people say like it looks like a code. Maybe it's not really a code, but it's really a different variance of the same text that the system will then randomly spin around, hence spin text. So Scott, can we jump to the example?
Yeah, just real quick comment on
Mm-hmm.
that. Is that, you know, much like we've had people who've come to Repfabric in the past, they were using spreadsheets to manage their sales and commission data. We also have, I was talking to prospect not too long ago that they were using the BCC field to send out mass emails. So this is exactly
Oh no,
what
don't do that.
Yeah, it's exactly what Yelena's talking about. This is why you don't do that. This is why we've partnered with Autoklose, because just what she talked about, those deliverability rates, easy for me to say, and those spam filters. So here you go, Yelena. Sorry, thanks.
No, thanks. That's a valid point. And actually, I get that a lot, especially every time we sign up a new Repfabric customer. I hear this BCC field a lot. But seriously, guys, don't do that. There are definitely better ways of sending mass emails, or more than just one email or one-to-one email. This right now is the example of how the spin text looks like. It's a very, very simple distinction between the variants inside the system. And of course, for those of you who are not very keen on writing emails, or you don't really know how to write a good email, I'm the same. Just to be perfectly clear, I hate writing emails. However, when you need to do that and you don't know how, we also have the ChatGPT plugin, which can help with the spin text as well. So more on the composer to come, but right now let's just say a few more things about the spin text feature. So there are two different versions of the spin text you can use. One is this basic spin text, where you just add a few different variants of pretty much the same text, like hi, hello, and then the time of the day, which is one of our dynamic tokens. This is also a version of the spin text, but in this case, the system knows when the email is being sent out. So depending on the time of the day, or even the day of the week, your emails will look very personalized, because again, the system knows when the email is being sent out. The more spin texts you have in the email, and the more variants you have within one spin text, the better the system would be able to randomize your content even more. So with just these simple changes and variations, you are able to create like 100, 200 different variants or versions of exactly the same email. And that is enough to trick the spam algorithms and your provider into thinking that you are not sending the mass emails. You can do this for any part of your email, whether it's going to be the subject line, which I highly recommend, anything within the email body, including the call to action, or even the unsubscribe link at the bottom, which is another question I get a lot, but more on that to come. So you can literally diversify any part of your email, and then without having to spend a ton of time personalizing the content for each particular recipient, you're able to achieve better deliverability rates, which is the main purpose behind the spin text feature. And just to show you how this looks like when you actually generate the spin text with the composer, you can see on the right side how the system is recommending different versions for the basic spin text. Obviously, whichever part you highlight to get the spin text for, that is the part that will be shown on the right side of the composer sidebar. And now let's show them the example how the email they saw here looks like when it's actually being sent out. So obviously I took this screenshot on Monday when Scott and I were working on the presentation. So you can see, have a great rest of the Monday, and you can also, well, not on this example, but you would be able to see how the time of the day is also changing depending on when the screenshot is being taken or when the email is being sent out.
Nice.
The next part of the AI features in Autoklose is the ChatGPT plugin, the Composer feature. And it's pretty much your everyday OpenAI ChatGPT function, but with two very important improvements. First of all, a lot of people, when they're using ChatGPT, they're obviously using the free 3.5 version, which is limited to, you know, the data it provides. Autoklose Composer is using the latest ChatGPT technology. It's a paid paid plan of the OpenAI ChatGPT. So with this in mind, the output you will be getting if using the Composer will be better and you know, contain better data. Other than the fact that it has the similar, if not the same options, like you're able to change the length of your email, to set up the tone of the email, and all these things you would usually prompt within ChatGPT. Well, that's the other improvement for the Composer. You don't have to think about prompting anything. And I have to say, when I first came across ChatGPT, the hardest part was how to prompt this to get me the output I want. So it was a trial and error thing. I spent a lot of hours trying to learn how to prompt the ChatGPT to, well, basically give me anything, whether it's a simple email or, you know, I wanted to run a report or other things that I don't even want to mention now. It was hard getting it to actually give me the version that I wanted. And I mean, if you ever use ChatGPT, I'm sure you ran into the same problem. I know Sean, for example, he still doesn't know how to use it. So we kind of removed that part, and the prompts are already by default embedded within the Composer. Scott, let's jump to the next slide so they can actually see this. Another part of that improvement is the fact that instead of just prompting the ChatGPT to give you the email, the right email content for the recipients based on the recipient data, we're also including the sender's data. So the context you can see here is the place where you just need to give the basic information about who you are, what your company is, and what you as a company, as a brand, are doing. So with the simple details you provide there, Composer is able to use that data for better output. Then you can add your recipient information. Scott, let's go to the next slide.
Sorry. There you go.
Right there. Perfect. So after you set up the context and provide the details about yourself, now you can provide details about who you are targeting within this campaign. So again, what's the purpose of the email? Who's the target audience? What are the key points you want to mention? And at that point, you also have an option of adding a link. So Composer can also read through the landing page and get the data out of your website or your manufacturer's website. Then you can set up the tone and choose the length for the emails. And then once this all is being generated, the output should look something like the emails we have on the next slide. So the system will provide with two different versions for the emails. And then you can either use one of them that you like the most, or use all three of them for follow-ups, or maybe even use the two versions for the A/B test. There are numerous different use cases you cover with Composer. And now, even if you don't really like writing emails through ChatGPT, I actually have another funny story from another Repfabric user who said, well, there's no way I can get this to use the same tone as my sales reps. That's a fair point. You can still use it to correct your grammar, fix spelling, or maybe even just rephrase parts of your text, parts you want to make it sound more personalized. So that is it on the AI features, but I do still want to briefly touch base on other aspects for better deliverability. The sending schedule feature, this is also newer feature inside Autoklose, and even though it's not AI generated, at least not for now, but I'm sure our lead developer can get creative with that too. Sending schedule has proven to be very beneficial for different Repfabric users, simply because you know your audience, you're dealing with them, you know when they're in the office, you know when those people will respond to your emails the most, when the emails will get opened or clicked through the call to action. So based on that knowledge, you can set up different sending timeframes. This is also great because you can avoid sending emails when people are having lunch, or you can avoid sending emails when, for example, you are on the trade show and you won't be able to respond to their replies so quickly. So without spending a lot of time going into the system, pausing campaigns, on pausing them after, with a few simple clicks, you can just set up different sending schedules, different timings of the day, and different days of the week when the email should go out. And another cool part about it is you can also exclude any US holiday or any other day for that matter automatically while you are creating a campaign. So I know when I first showed this, when we released the feature, and when I first had a few training calls with people, they love the fact that they can exclude the public holidays. I think it was around 4th of July, and then everyone went crazy about it, and we created a ton of different sending schedules. I think this was one of the fastest adopted features we ever released. So I do think that the timing of the email plays a big role into email deliverability rates.
Mm-hmm.
And I would encourage anyone here who's currently using Autoklose to play around with this. And of course, if you need any help or have any questions about these features, you can always reach out to us.
Awesome.
And now, just a few things about deliverability in general. When Scott and I first talked about this, having this webinar, we wanted to emphasize the importance of AI and what are the things you are able to do with the AI these days. But I've been having a lot of calls with different users lately, and I'm sure everyone here knows about these different rules that email providers are setting up right now and how strict those rules tend to get. So I was getting a lot of questions about that, and then I said to Scott, like, hey, why don't we briefly touch base on this as well? So for everyone who's already doing the cold outreach or warm outreach, any type of outreach whatsoever using the email. And obviously, for those of you who are planning on doing this, there are a few things that we always recommend to our clients before we set up the first campaign. So within Autoklose, there are different features you can utilize for this. Features like ramp up. So you can create that neutral incremental increase of the number of emails you are sending. Any spike in the activities, like going from 10 emails per day to 250 emails per day, which I know a lot of people want to do. That's not a bad idea, believe me. No, actually, that is a bad idea. That's not a good idea. But doing these increases slowly over time will go a long way in improving the overall deliverability rates. Then, as I mentioned, diversifying the email content using either the spin tags, one of our custom fields in which you can add all the recipient data if you want to do that hyper personalization. Using the composer to simply, write more personalized emails. Those are the features that can really help increase these deliverability rates. I know that a lot of Repfabric users and our general user base want to send a lot of HTML content these days. HTML content like having a lot of images, a lot of links. Be mindful of how many HTML elements you have in your emails. If you ever tried writing an email through ChatGPT, you would also see how it kind of purposely avoid using any references to images and links. And basically, there's a reason for that. The heavier HTML content in the emails, the bigger size of the email, therefore, that will at some point end up in someone's spam or junk folder.
Yeah, no, along those lines, sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
We actually had a question while you're. What is, and Sean, you may want to jump in here too. What is the recommended size to keep the email to, including attachments?
Size of the email in general or size of the attachment. If we're talking about attachments, then anything up to 5 megabytes.
Yeah.
And in general, your email shouldn't be bigger than 10 megabytes in general. That includes text and everything else. But when it comes to attachments, images, that's up to 5 megabytes per email.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to say is I usually try and keep it under 150 words in your email. That's the number I would probably say is like the sweet spot. Obviously, on follow-ups it might be 75 to 100, but I would try and keep it, shorter and
the better.
sweeter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially when people are actually most of the times reading those emails on their mobile devices. Then they will have to scroll a lot if the emails are longer.
Yeah. So one thing I just want to just touch upon while you said that on your mobile device, and this is something with deliverability also is, and with open rates is your subject line. Remember, if like Yelena said, more people are going to see that email on your mobile device. If you're writing long subject lines, like 10 words, they're only going to see 4 to 5. So remember, on your mobile device, you're only going to see 4 to 5. So if you're writing the best subject line in the world, but you have 10 words, they're not even seeing 6 of those words. So focus on 3 to 5 words on that subject line.
Good call out. And then, I'm sorry, I jumped in on you in the last bullet there. Sorry.
No. This was a great question. Actually, we are getting that question a lot. So whoever asked it, thank you. Also, another thing that I've been getting asked a lot is, what about the unsubscribe link? And then, there's usually like a follow-up comment. Well, if I use the unsubscribe link, then my recipients will know it's not personal one-to-one email. They will know I use some sort of automation. And that is a fair point. However, the important part of doing the cold outreach or any type of email outreach is there will be people who simply don't want to hear from you at that point or moving forward. And if there's not an easy opt-out option, in that case, you're risking of, that email being marked spam. The more people mark you as spam, well, in that case, first of all, your entire domain can get blacklisted, and I'm pretty sure that no one wants that.
No.
Then, of course, the more people mark you as spam, there are higher chances of your overall emails being sent to people's spam folder instead of their inboxes. So, I would recommend doing the unsubscribe. Even, the best, the cleanest, and probably the easiest way of implementing that is if you add it to your signature at the bottom of the signature, like a very small font saying, if you don't wish to hear from me, here's how to remove yourself. And that will go a long way in making sure that your domain stays intact.
Good.
And another thing that I want to mention, and this is mainly because I spoke to your team, Scott, this week, and they said that most users have the problem with the fact that they've been piling up this data for past X number of years, and they have no idea if those people are still in that company. Have they retired? Have they moved companies? So you should, as a general rule, avoid sending emails to the invalid or inactive email addresses. And I think we all know that that will lower the bounce rate and increase the engagement rates across multiple campaigns. And there's also another feature in Autoklose that can verify those email addresses before you even send them an email. That way, bounce rate go lower, delivery rates go higher. So that's definitely one thing to keep in mind before you even consider sending out the email campaigns.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so I know we're 45 minutes past the hour. So for those who are experts at how Autoklose integrates to Repfabric, you certainly can drop off if you don't have any questions. If you want to see just a quick overview of it, that's what I'm going to go through in the next 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll hit the questions and answers and get you out of here before the end of the hour. So the way that it works is that you start the campaign in Autoklose. Okay, so you log in Autoklose and start a new campaign. It's the same straightforward, name your campaign, the parameters, all the things that Yelena just went through, the days you're going to be sending. You can use the new scheduling features that she said. These are kind of older screenshots, but there's more stuff in there now as she showed you. After you have your parameters set up, you hit next, and it basically just walks you through. And then when it comes time to add your contacts, you should now go into Repfabric to add those contacts. So you just go in and do an export of contacts and select whatever parameters you want, company name, the first name, last name, email, etc. You don't need a lot of detail unless you're going to be doing a lot of syntax or spintax. Excuse me, I got to get that name right. But keep that in mind. If you're going to use the spintax, you do want to pull in that particular field, so so that you can add it to the campaign. So once you have all your filters set, you just go to the very top, and there's a blue button called Send to Autoklose. And then once you do that, it'll show up in it'll show you a new screen that says, who do you want to send this as? So you may have multiple users that use Autoklose. In this case, if even I'm Chris, I'm changing it to Bill, and then I send it over to Autoklose, right? And so before I do that, though, I can also subscribe to settings. So this is the piece that we really talk to a lot of customers and prospects about. The idea, what's so great about this integration is that you can set actions based on how the recipient behaves. So if they open the email, you could set an action. If they click on a link, etc., you can set an action, link visit. If they replied the email, track your bounced emails, as Yelena has talked about. And the nice thing is you're going to be able to set it, let's say, for instance, a task that you can ultimately send to a salesperson, or an opportunity you could ultimately send to a salesperson. So it's really where the idea of marketing starts transitioning into sales and lead generation, right, for your salespeople. So this to me is really the power behind the integration. So, and by the way, there's your available actions, task, email notification, create an activity journal, or an opportunity. So we use these personally. I use these because, if we are going into an event like we just went to AMAR a couple of weeks ago and we did an Autoklose campaign, I want to know if the person I'm talking to at AMAR received that email and if they opened it, right? So I know whether or not, this is now someone who actually is engaging with Repfabric. So know that we personally do this at our company. So once you have all those filters set, you just hit send to Autoklose, and then you select the campaign you want to go to in Autoklose, and it'll show up. The contacts will begin showing up there. So you go back to Autoklose, click on the choose recipients, and note that it could take a couple minutes, particularly if you have a lot of contacts in there. So don't get freaked out if you first go over and like, there's nobody there, or why is there only 10 when I know I selected 100? So it does sometimes take some time for them to come over. So I always say, go grab a cup of coffee and come back, and then you'll be seeing it populate through. So by the way, it doesn't mean you have to stop work. You can still move forward with selecting your template and do all the great things that Jelena was just talking about, and then come back and hit next step when you're ready. I won't go through write the email. I think she did a pretty good job of that. So then you just go through and send it, and you're on your way. So oh, by the way, for Repfabric customers, there is a significant discount on Autoklose. Autoklose, since the time we formed our partnership, has had at least one price increase that I'm aware of. And so now for most users, it's $839 annually. For Repfabric customers, our price hasn't gone up because Sean's a great guy, no matter what Jelena says. And and so it's for us, it's $600 a year. So if you want to know more about that, you can just go to autoklose.com/Repfabric, and you'll see this here, and you put in your name and email, and a very lovely person not named Sean will contact you. Okay. So with that, to learn more, if you don't want to go to this website and you just think that's too hard, I don't want to do all these work, you can just send Jelena an email, and this is her email address here. And if you are not a Repfabric customer, because we do open these up to non-customers, prospects, what have you, if you want to learn more about Repfabric, please contact me. This is my email address, my cell phone number's right there. And then again, if you want to learn more about Autoklose, please contact Jelena. So, okay, so let me have a crack at some of the questions. The first one, I'm not sure if I quite understand, but so maybe if Cherry, if you might want to rewrite that one, I'm not sure if I got exactly what that was saying. So next question would be, do you have any recommendations for the speed of a re-ramp up for email addresses that have been shut down in the past?
Yes, probably from the lowest point of like 5 to 6 emails per day. And obviously keep in mind who are you sending these emails to, because if the people will send you the responses, that would be better for building that online reputation over again. With the ramp up, that is kind of predefined. You just need to add a few details in the form, and the system will create a dynamic ramp up plan specific to your needs at the time.
Awesome. And then someone else asked, where do I find the Autoklose on Repfabric? I've never noticed that option when I'm using for about a year. So you should see it when you go to the export contacts. If you don't see it there, please do contact our help online. We will be able to get that going for you if you don't have it there. So, and you can, to put in a support ticket, you can just go to the help button on any screen in Repfabric, and the last button, option, I'm sorry, is support. So we'll definitely, our support team will be happy to help you with that if you can't find it. Let's see here. Is that action feature available as an auto setting for all campaigns that go out? And are we able to track our analytics without selecting it every time? It's an interesting question. The action feature, I'm assuming you're saying, what actions you're subscribing to. No, you have, from my understanding, you do have to do that for each campaign. And then able to track our analytics over without selecting every time. You can track the analytics right in Autoklose. They have great analytics that show you delivery and open rates and all those kind of good things. You guys can probably speak to it better than I can. So, all right. Once you add a contact to Repfabric, to Autoklose campaign, or once they're loaded to Autoklose, are they going to feedback? Do they feedback to Repfabric? So again, Sean?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, yeah. I mean, yeah, if you want to answer, but they cross sync the contacts from Repfabric and Autoklose, correct?
Yep.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a two-way sync. So everything that goes out from Autoklose, depending on what you set up in Repfabric, will be fed back to a Repfabric account.
Yep.
Okay. And then another question is this one's probably for Yana. Is
Yeah.
the sixth? Go ahead.
I was going to say, Katie must be in sales. Yeah, we are trying to stay in business. So it is 600 per user and not per company. I'm generous, but I can't be that generous. But yeah, that's per user inside of Autoklose.
Yeah, and I mean, most companies typically only have a couple of people that really do email campaigns, unless they're very, very big, obviously, then it's worth it anyway.
Exactly.
So even for us, even in Repfabric, there's only a couple of us that actually utilize it. So typically it's good. And then it says, is there a way to tag customers inactive when we get an auto response say they no longer work for this company or use a different email in Repfabric? Yeah, this already exists. I mean, if they're truly inactive, I would just delete them in Repfabric or archive them. There's also a do not email button you can click in Repfabric. There's also a tag. Yeah, we also use tags or contact groups that would be a do not email kind of thing. So you can kind of filter on that. So there's multiple different ways of kind of attacking that particular monster. And I think that is all the questions that we have. So 7 minutes left. Just want to say thank you to everybody who attended. As we mentioned before, this will be in the LMS probably in a couple of days. And obviously want to thank a big thank you to Sean and to Yelena for joining us this afternoon / evening / morning. So
well, thank you, Scott, and thank you everybody that attended. I once again, like Yelena mentioned, it's been a great partnership over the years with Repfabric, and we continue to build in that partnership and continue to strive to bring you guys successful and new features.
Awesome. Everybody have a great weekend. Take care.
Thanks, guys.